We bring in, though, our new colleague, Fox News contributor, former White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders. Look, you did a job that, for me, would be impossible. I couldn't do it, you know, without probably going full Anthony Scaramucci on them, which is a compliment. I like that. But in all seriousness, this is now, you dealt with the Democratic Party agenda advanced by a corrupt media, conspiracy theories, lies, breathless, hysterical reporting, and it's always wrong. They got the whole thing wrong. We got it right. The, you know, little old talk show host on TV, gee, we kind of figured it out when they didn't. We didn't follow the mob. And as a result, we were able to get the truth to the American people, as now is getting confirmed more and more every day.
Absolutely. First, Sean, I think you would have done great in my job, but I don't think the media would have liked it very much, because I think you would have embarrassed them on the daily basis. So, and I'm thankful that you let me have
you
that
had the
spot.
patience of Job. You know, and then they doubted you baked pies. You bring them in pies and say, I baked them, and they still say, I don't know if she baked this. I mean, you can't win.
I think it shows exactly one of the biggest problems that the media has is they want to question everybody else's credibility when the whole world is doubting theirs. The agenda of obstruction that they have against this president is completely out of control. They tried to destroy the president because they hate that he won in 2016, and then they hated that he was able to start delivering on all the things that he said he was going to, including a conservative court. They hate the idea that he is building not just great things that are happening that are taking place under this term, but he is building a legacy that will live on long after he is no longer president through the nominees and the people that have been confirmed to the courts across the country, including 2 Supreme Court justices. Because they can't beat him, now they're going after everyone around him, everyone associated with him, and they're even making stuff up. It's completely out of control, and at some point, they have to start holding people accountable. I think the president's right to start calling for something to be done. They continue to make things up. I mean, last week you had CNN make up this absurd story about a CIA operative. You had Politico make up a story about the Air Force rerouting planes to benefit the president. This week you have the New York Times. You have 3 different major outlets, and the only thing that they have in common is that they're putting out fake news, trying to say it's true, and that they're using all of this in the way to take this president down.
We got about a 2-minute warning or less that the president's going to step on stage. But the president has been very clear. When he says locked and loaded, I would take it seriously if I was a mullah in Iran. The president does not want foreign entanglements, but the president successfully beat the caliphate back in Syria, ISIS, and he did it with superior weaponry, no boots on the ground, or very limited. Similarly, I would not expect the president to get involved in a foreign entanglement with Iran. But with that said, I don't think this president is going to allow Iran to move forward and dictate the free flow of oil at market prices or disrupt that. It's great for us. We're energy independent. But if every other country that we do business with, if they now are suffering because of what's going on with the Iranians, it's not good for the world economy. Therefore, I would expect the president, and I'm hoping for Bibi Netanyahu's victory tomorrow. I hope people in Israel vote Likud. We need his moral clarity. He's a Churchillian figure, but on the world stage. But this is now a line in the sand, and it appears they are now asking to get hit. And I believe the president is very capable of doing what they want.
Absolutely. I would certainly not test this president. Unlike President Obama, President Trump is going to look in the face of evil, and he's going to say, not on my watch. And he is not going to allow them to continue to be the bullies of the world. And the president has been very clear that he is not going to allow that to happen. We can't allow it to happen. Like you said, thank God that we have become an energy independent nation under this president, but we cannot allow Iran to continue acting in the way that they have for the last several decades, the way that they continue to hurt countries across the globe. And I don't think that if I was them, I certainly wouldn't test this president. I think he's proven his ability not just to fight back, but fight back harder than anything they think is possible. And I have full confidence in the president and the team that he has around him and Secretary Pompeo and others to make the right right decision, and I know it'll be about protecting this country and making sure that America remains safe and that we remain energy independent. Two things that are vitally important and two things that he's been able to successfully do since becoming president.
Well, the other issue, between the media mob and the lies, there's a very heavy price that I would pay as a talk show host. Now, everybody seems to think a talk show host only does opinion, but no. As a talk show host, we actually report news. I can produce thousands of hours of straight news coverage where we're just asking questions. There's events unfolding. There's war. There's hurricanes. We do that. We investigated. We did a deep dive on Obama when the media wouldn't touch it. We also pointed out Obama's failed record after 8 years. Nobody would touch that. But also on the deep state. For the New York Times to suddenly admit 2.5 years late that, oh, it looks like that dossier was likely Russian disinformation from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, you're only 2 years and 5,000 lies later catching up to where we've been for a long period of time. But it's hurtful because that's 99% of the media. That's why I call them the mob, because they have a mob mentality. Why is it so personal for them and this president?
I think because he continues to prove them wrong. Every single time that they say this president won't do something, he won't succeed, he won't be able to do anything on immigration, he'll cripple the economy, he won't rebuild the military, he won't create tax reform, he won't cut taxes. Every single time they say he won't do it, he does it. And it makes them embarrassed. It makes them look like fools. And he continues to do it. I think they're still mad that he won in 2016, and they're mad that he's winning every single day for this country. I think it is incredibly sad that the media and Democrats would rather see the president fail than our country succeed. I hope that they will start to learn from some of these major mistakes that have happened over the last couple of weeks and start holding people accountable. Start putting some checks and balances. Go back to where we have a true editorial process where they're checking these things and stories aren't just being pushed out in hopes that they can tear somebody down, but that they're actually making sure that their stories are right, that they're accurate. Let's hope that these learn something from this. If not, I'm pretty sure that this president will be happy to point it out to him, as will people like yourself and others on this network.